So for my gender study class, we had to come up with experience that we had with socialization of gender. And I feel like um, my experience that I've had is when I was younger in middle school and I wanted to play football, because growing up I was the only female cousin in my family, so I'm surrounded by all these guys, and I'm a bigger female, I'm like 6 feet tall, so it wasn't not normal for me to be rough with people, I was normalized around roughness. So when I got to middle school and seen that there was a football team, I'm like, yeah, I want to do this. Like, this is for me. I'm going to be on a football team and nobody can stop me. So when I talked to my parents about it, they kind of like looked at me dumbfounded, like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to play football? You're a girl. Girls don't play football. It's too rough for you. They're like, the sport is too rough for you. You're going to get hurt. You're not going to be able to do all that. No. So then I asked the football coach about it. I'm like, hey, would I be able to play? And they're like, no. You could kind of be a water girl, though. You can watch, or you can get the towels or something. So at a young age, I did learn that there are gender roles when it comes to even sports. Like, there are gender roles everywhere. So it was just like, why? And even the coach was like, go play volleyball, why I can't wear shoulder pads, but I got to wear spandex. Like, I just feel like it wasn't fair, I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So basically, one thing that I was connected to is that everybody, so in our culture, girls do what girls do and boys do what boys do. So basically, girls are supposed to cook and clean and boys are supposed to go get the money and be masculine. And I feel like that wasn't fair. That's what I connected it to. That was not fair. These gender roles should not be made for everything, If I want to play a sport, then why can't I play a sport? Just because I'm a female, it should not stop me for what I wanted to do. And I would say this is an example of social construct because it does change over time. And according to Brittany De La Cortez, who wrote the article "More Girls Are Playing Football," is that progress says that more girls are playing high school football than there has ever been. But the game is also still dominated by men, considering no woman has ever played in the NFL yet. So I would consider this progress because we start off with no female playing football, until about 50 years ago in 1970, when the first female named Patricia Palinkis played for a professional football team. She's the first female to play for a professional football team. And I feel like she opened doors for other women because it showed that, just because we have a gender role barrier, does not mean we cannot cross that. So I feel like she did open doors for other females. And in 2018, we had up to 1,000 girls in youth football camps, which was so great, And if it wasn't for dominant women like Patricia herself and for Title IX and the women's movement, then we wouldn't have gotten across the lack of border cultural support. Although we didn't have support, we crossed the borderlines of gender roles and what women can and can't do. As far as differences, I would think by allowing females to play football in American culture, it shows improvement as far as evolving. As our culture evolving. Because if I was to contrast us to another culture or country, I would contrast or compare us to Saudi Arabia, because it wasn't until 2012 that they let females play in their Olympics, and America let females play in our Olympics in the 1900s, in 1900. So I just think it's crazy that, that's a big, timeline between them two times. So Saudi Arabia, in their culture, they have to ask for permission to do everything. They cannot drive. They can't even get out of jail without a male guardian's permission. So it's just, to me, it's crazy that they have to go through that. And in conclusion, and as far as ending, I feel like I do take for granted the gender roles that we have here, because I never noticed that gender roles in other places are way worse, So we can do a lot of things over here as females in America. We can do a lot of things, and in Saudi Arabia they really can't do much to anything. So I feel like that it should be based on whether I'm a man or not. If I can play football, or if I can do a certain job, So That's how I feel about things.